Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the Samsung Galaxy A36 just over a week later. I've had this device for over a week now, about 8 to 10 days. And I have some interesting thoughts about this budget slash affordable Samsung device. Links will be in the description box for you guys if you guys are considering buying the A36. I even have links for the A56. Funny enough, that one's not like officially coming over to the US. You have to basically import like the Latin version, but that can work on T-Mobile along with other carriers. So if I do consider getting that, it will be, in the near future if I decide to go ahead and import it. But I'll leave links for that down in the description box as well for you guys if you guys are considering the A36, because surprisingly, I've been enjoying using this device despite it being very, very inferior to the Galaxy Z Fold 6, a device that I didn't think I would miss, but I don't miss it in the way you think I do. I miss the multitasking functionality of it for sure, and I miss just having that big inner screen, but that's it. I don't really miss the Z Fold 6 as much as I thought I was going to overall. Now I do miss the Flip series. That device I miss right there. But this has actually been a great step in device. This is a device I can easily recommend at the top end of this video to mostly everybody. The Galaxy A36, anybody can really rock the A36. Moving from the Z Fold 6 to this phone has been a pleasant experience. The transition, the transition was not bad at all. Being able to import all my data over was not bad at all. Everything really just kind of fluidly moved along the process, and I actually am quite surprised by that, given that this is a $400 phone or $350, however you want to look at it, versus a near $2,000 phone. Now, with that discrepancy in price comes a discrepancy in specific aspects of quality. And that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. My overall thoughts over the first week of rocking the A36 and what I find immediately different between the Samsung Galaxy A36 and the Z Fold 6. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, the notification bell, so all free. That way you know when our videos, so you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. Let's continue on to the video. And the first thing I want to talk about is the build quality. Now, we know with the Galaxy Z Fold 6, that is Gorilla Glass Victus Plus or Victus 2, one of them. And then you're talking about glass, metal, or, just a super solid frame, along with a very, sturdy hinge. And then you come down to this $400 device, and you still do get Gorilla Glass Victus Plus on the back for the glass, which is great. A great step in the right direction for affordable quality, right? Hardware quality for devices. But then you get this polycarbonate frame, but the way they've kind of painted it or iodized it, it feels like aluminum, but it's polycarbonate or plastic for short. So from the build quality perspective, it's still nice and light, which is what I like. And I think it looks very, 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 very good. Now, one of the problems I have immediately, as I've discussed before, is the gloss finish, something that I don't quite like, and that's why I'm grabbing my cloth here. I'm gonna try to rub it off real quick. Not hard to really keep clean from that perspective. It's just the fact of the matter is now you kind of have to jump through hoops, so to speak, to keep your device active or clean by keeping a cloth on you. So then that way you can actually have a solid experience when looking at this device straight on. And so as you see, I cleaned it. It looks better there. That's one of the things I don't like. I wish it was matted. I don't know why they didn't matte it. I think most customers and consumers are fine with matted devices as opposed to that polished look. Maybe make the polished look an exclusive color as opposed to the main color. I actually would like that. The A36 really only comes in two colors, I believe, or three, like a silver, this kind of awesome black, they call it, but it's really gray. And then they have like a translucent color. It's like lime and purple. I think they call it lavender, but it sparkles many different colors. I actually have not had no problems with that from that perspective. I think it looks just fine. It blends in very well, and it really speaks to Samsung's quality, even on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to their products. And that's something I really like. The power button is fine. The fingerprint sensor is fine. But this is where I kind of want to quickly kind of jump into software. But before I do, the cameras are okay, right? It's $400. You're not getting the best of the best. You're getting, you know, okay to decent cameras, and I really haven't had an issue. I definitely know when it comes to low light scenarios, the Galaxy A36 not doing a great job. That being said, and now transitioning over to software, the reason why you guys haven't seen me turn the screen on yet is because this is where I find my first and really main crux or main issue when it comes to the A36. And I hope this is just more so the A36 and not indicative of the budget end of devices in general. And I can honestly say it seems like it might be more so the A36 or the this is where I don't know which one it is. It's either the lack of RAM or it's the processor being used because this phone can be groggy. It can be slow. And it seems like it's consistently slow when actually turning on the display. So if I click the power button, you see I clicked it? You see how long it's taking just for that to come up? Now it's possible because I'm using the multi kind of wallpaper aspect of it. That's why it's slow. It's very possible. But I've never experienced that with any other device. Granted, most of the devices I've used, they don't have no problems with that. So I don't know if that's a processor issue or a RAM issue, and for whatever reason, being able to power on a device takes forever. And I've tried several different hacks or feature turnoffs or unrestricted battery access. Maybe if that's it, I've used other Samsung apps to try to improve the RAM usage, and everything still does pretty much what it does right there with that very long delayed response to pressing the power button. Now I also use the double tap to turn on. Now, I think because it's already triggered, that's why it popped up easily. But what I've noticed is if I do either one, it can take a while for it to load back in. So I think once the phone kind of relaxes for a little bit, it seems like it might actually deprioritize the power functionality with the screen, and that may be what it is. It's very weird. I waited some time. So right now, it's showing off for the camera and responding the way it should. And while I'm here, if I want to show you guys the fingerprint sensor, not bad. I actually turned off the animation thinking that would help the whole transition process when it comes to from the powered off state to the powered on state when it comes to the screen or lock screen or whatever you want to call it. I also turned off always on display because I thought that would have helped, and then I turned it off. So like I said, I've tried different avenues to try to speed that up, and it's just not working right now. So again, I'm still trying to figure it out. It might be because I have multiple wallpapers, which is still Samsung's default wallpaper picker also. So equally a problem, I think, in that department. But 6 gigs of RAM for the most part really hasn't been too interfering. But I think it really is more of a processor issue as opposed to the RAM issue, because even when loading up the Samsung internet, sometimes, as you see, it can take some time to load that up. But once it's inside, there's no lag, as you guys can see there, no lag whatsoever. But you saw how it like was very kind of slowish or laggy when loading even just the main Google page. And so it's just very interesting to see the inferiority of the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 in this $400 phone when it comes to just simple tasks such as opening internet browser, trying to power on the display, right? Like it can be very groggy when it comes to response. And even when I'm in, my JW Library app, if I'm trying to look for something, it can also still act funny even within here, trying to switch between different aspects. It takes some time. I'm a little surprised that it takes that amount of time when it comes to just working within the app. And I think it's really more so, if not an underclocked, a slower processor than even expected. And that's with me using Good Guardians, trying to get more out of the processor. And so I've tried some reboots, some restarts. I wiped the cache partition after everything was loaded into my phone properly to make sure all my apps were straight. So when I wiped the cache partition, I wouldn't lose anything. So I've done all that. Haven't received the May update yet for the A36, still waiting on that. So I've tried many different avenues to try to get some more speed back. Good Guardians again with using the ability of this of Good Guardians to actually improve RAM usage. So if I come in here to Good Guardians and I come in here to Memory Guardian, and then once this loads up, and as you see, it's still taking, again, this is what I'm talking about here. It's very weird. If I click on customize down here at the bottom, this phone only gives you two options. Now with the Z Fold 6 and most probably flagships and above, if you have this downloaded, you usually have three. You have default, you have quick switch, oh my goodness, quick switching mode, and then you have another mode, which is basically like set top app, meaning it will prioritize fewer apps. So that way you have more memory available for that app to use, especially if you're using like a video editing app, something along those lines, then it will prioritize that app. Quick switching allows it to load more apps into RAM. So even having this on and available has not really, I mean, this has kind of helped some more apps, app switching from that perspective. I've noticed YouTube load up a little bit faster since I turned this on, but trying to prioritize just simply having my screen turn on in a quick manner, it has not been helpful. It's only helpful right now because it's prioritized. Right now it's at the top of the list. So clicking on anything, it's gonna pop right back up. Now, it's also, no, that's not the case. You know what? I may have to revise one of my points. I thought maybe it's because of the wallpaper selector, but it's not, because I'm in night mode right now and I only have one wallpaper set for my lock screen and one wallpaper set for my main screen. Now, Samsung does not have a default wallpaper picker where you can have multiple wallpapers for the home screen. It's just for the lock screen. You can have up to 15. So in night mode, since I only have one wallpaper for the lock screen and home screen, you guys even noticed that very first time I showed you guys when I clicked the power button, how long it took for my screen to finally cut on. So that actually eliminates that. The wallpaper really doesn't matter. It's a weird prioritization situation or processing situation with the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 that is like deprioritizing or not being clocked high enough to just keep the screen on standby or at ready whenever you want to engage it. Now, and again, like I said, right now it is because that was the first thing I was using. But let this phone sit about 5 minutes, and I come back and press something, it's not gonna load the way I want it to. You'll see the logo for the fingerprint sensor like you saw that very first time. You'll see the logo log up, and then the screen will finally kick on at some point. So from a software perspective, although the software has been pretty decent for One UI 7 on this device, and noticing that the features you get as a result of the Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 are far different than the features that you would get with the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen chip, right? That's the interesting part as well, which we'll get into another video in terms of features that you kind of still get with the A36. So from a software perspective, I'm definitely giving this phone like a B- right now because of the struggles I'm having with just simply turning on the screen. But that's still not bad considering that everything else about it is pretty much still good. Like you still get a 1080 plus display, so you get very good high quality AMOLED picture quality from Samsung when it comes to the display. You still get 6.7 inches basically, which is a nice size, but it feels good in the hands, and it really acts and looks as though it's a flagship device. And as you start using it, you'll definitely notice it really isn't. So I'm hoping and wondering, if I do get my hands on the A56, will it be similar? Will the A56 have similar processing issues, or is the processor clocked a little bit higher in that phone? Because I believe the A56 has the Exynos processor in it. So that's going to be interesting to see from that perspective. And the last thing I briefly want to touch on is battery life. I get 24 hours out of this as of right now, which isn't a problem. The Snapdragon 6 Gen 3 may not be as optimized for battery as the Snapdragon 8 series is, so I think that you have a bit of that there. With a 5,000 milliamp battery, I would have expected to get more battery life or better battery life out of my A36 as opposed to my Z Fold 6, but right now I get basically about the even amount of battery life between both devices, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing, in my opinion, because why is it that this phone has more battery and yet I'm getting equal battery life. I think again it's a processor issue. It's not the software, because One UI 7 runs very well for the Z Fold 6 to be able to extend through 24 hours of use. With the A36, I should be getting more than that, considering how less and how much less is going on with the phone. You would think you would easily be able to get more battery life. But I'm getting about 24 hours, 24 to 30, which isn't bad by no means, but I'm definitely expecting better. So we'll see after another week of use how this has been going, and I'll definitely report that, if not later this week, which would be like around maybe like Thursday, Friday, the following week, the week of the May 21st. So definitely let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about the Galaxy A36. Have you rocked any of Samsung's budget devices? Or are you a flagship only person? The comment section is open for discussion. Again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell, so all free. That way you never miss our videos. So you and I can sit back, check, and see what's cracking. And don't forget to hit that super thanks button down there by the like and dislike button. Cash App or PayPal, and check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's where to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. And don't forget to check out the links in the description box. I always have you guys covered with the tech that I'm covering in the description box below. It's your man Micah signing out. Until the next video, wait for it.